Hello everybody, it's Maria here from Pebbly Rose Paper Crafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Thank you all so much for joining me. Today we're going to be doing a no stamping faux alcohol ink background card with the Poppy Moments dies. These are these dies here. I'm going to be using this die here, this one here, and the leaf to make a cool background with that. And this involves no stamping. So we'll get started on this project. It is super, super easy. So the colours I'm going to be using today are Bermuda Bay, Gorgeous Grape and Crushed Curry. And I've got my Stamping Spritz bottle here, my spritzer, and inside it I filled it with rubbing alcohol. So if you like the look of an alcohol background, and these are water-based dies, you can create that look with the alcohol ink very, very simply. So I'll show you. This is not a unique thing to do either, so it's just fun. I'm going to have fun with this. So the cardstock I'm using today is Whisper White. I love Whisper White. This is the thick Whisper White cardstock. It's half an A4, and I've scored it in half again to create an A6 card base. So I'm just going to fold and burnish that score line that I've previously prepared. And then I've got a piece of just regular Whisper White cardstock, and this just layers over the top of this card base, and it's just 1/4 of an inch shorter than that. And then I've got half an A4 sheet of cardstock so I can cut out with my dies. So to start off with, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring in, I've got a mat here from Fiskars. I've had this for years. It's just a plastic mat so I can do my ink blending. Also, I've got here a piece of My Sweet Petunia grid paper. This came in with my Misty. I'm just going to use the other side, and it's just laminated so I can, stamp with it and do all sorts of things with it. So what I'm going to do quite simply is just stamp my Bermuda Bay ink on there. Oops, nearly dropped that. Then I'm going to have my Gorgeous Grape. Stamp it pretty close, but not overlapping. And then I'm going to use my Crushed Curry towards the bottom. And I'll just wipe that with, I've got a paper towel here that's wet with just water, just to clean that mess up for the time being, and then I'll throw that out afterwards. Alrighty, so to make this background, what I'm going to do is just spritz it with some alcohol, rubbing alcohol. Just spritz it quite liberally. And look at that cool spray it makes everywhere. It's messy, but it's fun. And then what I'm going to do is I'll pick it up and I'll just kind of let it run into each other and just kind of meld the colours together. And because it's an alcohol-like mix, it'll just move in a different way than it does with paper. So I'll just continue on mixing it up just so that it, congeals together. And it kind of mixes up. So I'll just do that. Okay, I think that looks gorgeous. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab my piece of cardstock and I'll put it between the 3 colours, just like that. And you can see it really soaking up in there. All right, and then I'm going to pick it up and check that out. Isn't that beautiful? So if there's any bits left over, I'm just going to pick it up here on the sides just to fill up the cardstock. So any bits that didn't get any ink on there, I'm just going to do that. With the Bermuda Bay here, I'm going to pick that up there as well. If you're hearing talking in the background, that's just my kids. They're on home from school holidays. So I don't want to take up too much of their time either. So I'm just going to grab some more. If it dries up, which it tends to do that when with alcohol ink, just re-spritz it very quickly and just re-wet that. And you can get your little faux, check that out, background there. And even if you get some on top of the darker colour, look at that. See, so you can easily do that with just watercolour, you know, water-based inks, and so mixes that up. It's just absolutely beautiful. So I'll continue on to just pick up bits and pieces that I didn't before, and even, you know, change the colours around too a little bit. So make a really, truly unique, cool background. Okay, so it looks like that. So what I'm going to do off camera is I'm just going to dry this with my heat tool, and then I shall be back and we'll just continue on with the card. So I've just finished drying this off. Now, we don't stock alcohol inks. However, isn't it amazing how even though that the crushed curry is lighter than the, say, the Gorgeous Grape here, it still managed to go over the top, if you can see that. Over the top of the crushed curry went over the top of the Gorgeous Grape and the Bermuda Bay. So when you have alcohol inks, just generally, you can do these kind of tricks. But we didn't use alcohol inks. We used our normal stamp pads, water-based, along with, so I've got an A here to let me know that I've got alcohol, rubbing alcohol in here. Spritz it across, and you can make your Stampin' Up inks move the same way as alcohol inks. So I thought this was a cool trick to show you. So what I'm going to do now is just leave it to the side. I think this is really beautiful. So what I'm going to do now with this half a sheet of just regular Whisper White cardstock is I'm going to actually cut these dies out several times, and this will allow me to make a nice background with these white flowers. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put these through the Big Shot a few times, and once I'm done finishing that, I will see you then. Thanks. I'm just finishing up cutting up the last leaf, so just crank that through, and then I am done now with all of the die cutting. So I've cut pretty much everything around 3 times, except for the leaves. I cut them out 4 times, but it's up to you what kind of flowers you want to use for this kind of background here. Okay, so lots of little bits and pieces here. I'm just going to bring my tweezers and clean this bit up. Get rid of all of that rubbish. Okay. So now I'm just going to bring in my background here. And what I'm going to do is arrange all of the pieces in a way that I think will look lovely. So let's do this one here like that, just for fun. So we'll just arrange them as we see fit. This makes it super fun, like that, like that. And put leaves in the middle of everywhere. Let's see now. Put that there. Just like that. So there's no right or wrong way on how to do this. So you just do what makes you know, what makes you happy, kind of thing. Pop that there and there, and I'll stick some leaves in the middle of it as well. So it's kind of roughly, you know, 3 times each of these ones. Okay, loads of fun. So I'm just going to grab some glue. I forgot to grab that, of all things, the glue. Just quickly bring that over. and we will arrange all of this on the page as we like it. So I'll just continue on doing this off camera with a similar layout to this, and then I'll turn you back on. So see you shortly. So I've just finished now putting on all the bits and pieces and sticking them down. So it looks like this. It's a bit of a mess, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab my little mini guillotine cutter, and I'm going to cut any bits that are, you know, hanging out. Oops, how'd that come out? Goes back in easily. So I'm just going to use my guillotine cutter, and I'm going to trim off the excess bits and pieces on the edge there. So it's nice and clean. Then I'll do this part here. Turn it upside down. Okay, so that bit's cut off, and then I'm going to do this bit here. Just clean up any bits and pieces like this. Okay, so I've now finished cutting that up and trimming that off. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this, this bit didn't trim off, so I'll just quickly trim that bit off right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just attach this over the top. Excuse me. So I've just put glue on the outside, and I'm going to leave this card blank from a sentiment, basically because I can use this for any occasion I see fit. What my plan is I'm going to have a little black strip of cardstock right across that, and on that sentiment, on that strip I'll have, you know, happy birthday, thank you, whatever I wish. So I tend to make these kinds of cards where I leave them blank, and then, you know, it's up to you how you want to use it in the end. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. All of the products that you've seen today are available through my online store at pepperlyrosepapercrafting.stampinup.net. So those are the colours again: crushed curry, gorgeous grape Bermuda Bay. I used rubbing alcohol in a spritz bottle, and the water, you know, if you look at the alcohol ink and what it did to the actual ink as well, is it just let it move around just like an alcohol ink. So you can get that faux alcohol ink look by doing that simple trick of just stamping with whatever colours you wish. You can even use ink droppers, whatever you want, and then just spritzing alcohol over the top, and it comes out just beautiful and very unique every single time. So all these products, and including the Poppy Moments dies, are available in my online store at pepperlyrosepapercrafting.stampinup.net. And I really hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you have any questions, or if you would like to, you know, if you need a hand with anything, I am more than happy to help you out any way I can. Just let me know, and you can leave a comment, or you can contact me privately through my online store at pepperlyrosepapercrafting.stampinup.net. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and this is my quick faux alcohol ink card. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.